You're listening to Cool FM. Cool FM is a TVH Group of Networks radio station. Tondo's greatest hits are here. You are listening to Cool FM. Live from Cool Studios. This is koolNews Primetime.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is koolNews Primetime. All news matter, all the news that matter from Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. I'm Stephen Namanico. Shida Guo is also a Chinese national, according to National Bureau of Investigation Director Jaime Santiago. Citing fingerprint analysis, Santiago announced during a joint press conference with Immigration Commissioner Norman Tancinco and Justice Assistant Secretary Miko Clavano on Friday that Shida Guo is Zhang Mir. The NBI chief said there was a comparative fingerprint analysis between Sheila L. Guo, ito yung nasa amin, at isang Zhang Mir. Comparative fingerprint analysis shows Chinese Zhang Mir and Sheila L. Guo are one and the same person. We can conclude na si Sheila L. Guo na nasa amin ngayon ay isang Chinese. Tancinco said Indonesian immigration officers were able to seize from Sheila Guo a Chinese passport bearing the name Zhang Mir. Alice Guo's sister Sheila and business associate Cassandra Leong were nabbed and held at the Batam Special Class 1 Immigration Office in Indonesia on Wednesday, August 21, and handed to Philippine authorities on Thursday, August 22. At past 5 p.m. on Thursday, the two women arrived at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport Terminal 1 and then taken to the Bureau of Immigration for documentation and medical checkup. Both were later transferred to the NBI office in Quezon City for inquest proceedings. Ex-Mayor Alice Guo's sister is facing a violation of immigration laws, while Ong was charged with obstruction of justice and a violation of the Philippine Passport Act. Sandro Mulak lamented how he will never be the same again after the alleged sexual abuse he suffered at the hands of two GMA independent contractors, Jojo Nones and Richard Cruz. The young actor said this through his Instagram stories on Friday, August 23, after the National Bureau of Investigation released the CCTV footage from the hotel where the alleged incident happened. The footage, according to NBI investigator Zulika Mariconales, showed Mulak's behavioral changes after meeting with Nones and Cruz at the hotel, which apparently indicated that the actor indeed suffered from a traumatic event. Mulak captioned the screenshots from the CCTV footage. Habang buhay ko dadalhin ko ito. Dalawa kayo at isa lang ako. I will never be the same again. Some people can never comprehend how hard it is to be in this traumatic situation. Luring someone will never be a consent to abuse, he stressed. Mulak, who is suffering from anxiety and post-traumatic stress disorder, or PTSD, filed a complaint of rape through a sexual assault and acts of lasciviousness against Nones and Cruz before the Department of Justice last August 19. The alleged sexual abuse is also being investigated in the Senate by the Committee on Public Information and Mass Media as part of the investigation on sexual abuse in the entertainment industry. During the August 19 hearing, Senator Jinggoy Estrada cited Nones for contempt for denying that he offered to donate money to a chosen charity by Sandro's father, actor Nino Mulak, as settlement. Meanwhile, why did inmates Leopoldo Tan and Fernando Magdadaro come out in the open to testify against former President Rodrigo Duterte and expose his alleged order to kill Chinese nationals in 2016? It's simply because they felt betrayed, at least according to Santa Rosa City Representative Dan Fernandez. In a virtual presser on Friday, Fernandez addressed former presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo's claims that enemies are now using convicted felons to carry out what he called as a demolition job against Duterte. Tan and Magdadaro are detained for killing three Chinese nationals inside the Davao Penal and Prison Farm. They were invited to the lower chamber squad committee hearing on Thursday, where they exposed Duterte's alleged order. For his part, Fernandez believes Tan and Magdadaro were motivated to speak up due to feeling betrayed. Tan earlier said that they were promised money, specifically 1 million pesos each for him and Magdadaro for every Chinese national killed and freedom. He said, Representative Dan Fernandez said, what happened is that the promises to them were not fulfilled. Instead of 3 million pesos, they were only given 2 million. He emphasized these people felt like they were betrayed, and then they saw that the administration of Duterte was over. They saw that they were still there, and they took the punishment that they were told to accept. Perhaps what happened was that they were frustrated and angry, and they saw that we were investigating this issue, so they found an opportunity. He emphasized. Surigao del Norte Second District Representative Robert Ace Barbers, who was leading the Quad Committee's hearings, said they thoroughly looked into what Tan and Magdadaro could contribute to the investigation. Barbers even admitted that the Quad Committee was very surprised upon knowing that they have such reports, leading the committee to allow the two to give their own account of the story. In the same interview where prodded about where they located the two witnesses, Barbers disclosed that they were introduced by the Philippine Drug Enforcement Agency, or the PDEA. Barber said, the one who came to us was the PDEA Director General, and he said that there were individuals who wanted to testify about the extrajudicial killings of PDLs who were imprisoned and convicted because of drugs during the previous administration. And these witnesses are said to have been involved in extrajudicial killings during that period. Barber said that the two who testified yesterday are already in the minimum facility, meaning they have already served a big fraction of their sentence and they will soon come out of the prison. We didn't see anything. That's why we gave them a chance, because they didn't ask for freedom. You saw what they said yesterday. What was the reason? What motivated them to speak? It came from them. Barber said. Political dynasties will never happen in Baguio City because the residents do not believe in them, Baguio City Mayor Benjamin Magalong said on Friday. When asked in an ambush interview if he would allow solicitation in the city on crafting an anti-dynasty bill, the mayor answered that he would allow it. He said it is different in Baguio. You know, Baguio does not believe in a political dynasty. He added they have a very strong sentiment against political dynasties. That's why it will never happen in the city. Magalong attended the launch of the coalition Alianza ng Kaisang Mamamayan, which aims to call for the end of political dynasties, corruption, and electoral fraud. The coalition is composed of 6 sectoral groups: the religious sector, military and uniformed personnel, youth, women, business professionals, and civil society organizations. Magalong, the convener of Mayors for Good Governance, or M4GG, also shared how he can help to end political dynasties, electoral fraud, and corruption in the country. He said the advocacy of M4GG is actually designed to raise awareness among the youth. They have a strong campaign for good governance, particularly in the fight against corruption. He's also committed to not get involved in any political dynasties. He said, "One thing I can assure you from Magalong, in the city of Baguio, I will never get myself in political dynasty. That is my commitment." He noted. The talk about spearheading solicitations of people's initiatives to pass an anti-dynasty bill came after Attorney Alexander Lacson shared approaches on how the coalition will implement it, citing efforts such as People's Initiative. He said the People's Initiative is a power granted to the Filipino people in the Constitution to pass a law. Section 32 under Article 6 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution states that the Congress shall, as early as possible, provide for a system of initiative and referendum, and the exceptions therefrom, whereby the people can directly propose and enact laws or approve or reject any act or law or part thereof passed by the Congress or local legislative body after the registration of a petition, therefore signed by at least 10% of the total number of registered voters, of which every legislative district must be represented by at least 3% of the registered voters thereof. Lacson shared that this was a type of people's initiative where it requires minimum 3% voting forces in the congressional district and 10% of voting forces nationwide. He added the requirement is minimum of 3% per congressional district. in an average of 250,000 voters per congressional district, what is the 3% of it? He said that's 7,500 votes. That's the minimum. What we need is 10%. If it's 10%, that's 25,000 signatures in the petition. He said fully in Filipino.
Pwede yan. Basta yung ano mo,
As koolNews Primetime continues,
pag sinabing sa umaga, almusal, maaga ka
Maxine
ang style mo dyan, sa ano na lang,
Maxine Magalona says, as she bonds with sisters, love was never lost.
pananalian.
In the other news rather, Cassandra Lee Ong
Yan, lalo,
may face raps or charges for harboring the fugitive. 5.5 billion smuggled cigarettes, fake items seized in Bulacan.
pagkain,
Over 161,000 liters of oil extracted from sunken ship in Manila Bay. And amid textbook lack, $10 million, 10 million pesos rather, for Sara Duterte book tagged ironic. We will be right back at this short break. It is now 9:17 p.m. Philippine Standard Time, and we have some breaking news. This is a TVH News exclusive, a Cool News exclusive. Blue Wave 5 and Mika Lim that will have a special project with with Warner Brothers and Media. Uh, for the Filipino adaptation of music and lyrics film. Once again, they the the two Mika Wave will have their own Filipino adaptation of the mid 2000s film from Warner Brothers. This is a development story. Meanwhile, 5.5 billion smuggled cigarettes, fake items seized in Bulacan, according to Bureau of Customs this Friday. In operation on Thursday, August 22, the BOC said government agents seized counterfeit devices, garments, and gadgets with a combined value of 5 billion rather, sorry, 5 billion pesos, and smuggled cigarettes totaling 500 million pesos from 19 warehouses at Green Miles Compound, Sitio Kabatuhan, Kamalig in May, Kawayan City. Our According to Customs Intelligence and Investigation Service Director Verdi Enciso, our team found suspected smuggled cigarettes and counterfeit items totaling around 5.5 billion based on initial estimates. Smuggling in this magnitude is the work of big organizations because of the complexity of the process of storing, hiding, and trickling these to the markets. He said he also, according to him, their inspection of the 19 warehouses is supported by the letter authority that representatives of the warehouses acknowledged. Intelligence Group Deputy Commissioner Jovi Max Uy, meanwhile, emphasized the impact of product smuggling and counterfeiting to the lives of Filipinos. According to the Deputy Commissioner, we most of these items were ordinary devices and gadgets for daily living. Our consumers must be certain of the quality and durability of these products because these smugglers circumvent the law. And he added, quote unquote, and not only does smuggling makes unsafe products accessible to Filipinos, some of whom are unsuspecting, but they also steal from the economy and prevents us from collecting taxes that could be used for social benefits and the like. According to the BOC, the consignors and consignees of the confiscated cigarettes and fake items will be charged in violation of the Republic Act 1891 or the Intellectual Property Code of the Philippines, Republic Act 10963 or the Tax Reform or for Acceleration and Inclusion Law, and the National Tobacco Administration Board Resolution numbers 0792005. The consignors and consignees also of the seized cigarettes and fake items may also face charges for violating provisions of the Customs Modernization and Tariff Act, the BOC added. Over 161,000 liters of the 1.4 million liters of oil were extracted from moored tanker MT Terra Nova, one of the three sunken ships in Manila Bay, the Philippine Coast Guard PCG said on Friday. In its regular update, PCG said that as of Thursday evening, a total of 161,612 liters of industrial fuel oil or IFO were collected from August 19 to 22. On August 19, a total of 2,350 liters of IFO were collected and 36,100 liters on August 20. The full blast siphoning of the IFO began on August 21 when 42,026 liters were collected. The biggest amount of extracted IFO so far was seen on August 22 when 81,136 liters were extracted. PCG also said it deployed BRP Sindangan used a water cannon to agitate the minimal oil sheen observed during the operations. Last July 25, MT Terra Nova capsized and eventually submerged off Bataan, killing a crew member. The spillage spread off to the coast of Manila, and nearby provinces. Aside from the MT Terra Nova, two other ships also submerged in Manila Bay last month. MV Mirola 1 ran aground on July 31, which eventually led to its capsizing, while MT Jason Bradley sank on July 27. PCG said MV Mirola 1 arrived and moored at the diving industry shipyard in Barangay Alas Asin, Batan's Maniveles town for retrofitting and repair. As for MT Jason Bradley, the contracted salvor conducted resealing and patching of manhole and air vents of the sunken vessel in preparation for the refloating operation. Cassandra Lee Ong, the business partner of former Bamban Mayor Alice Go, could possibly face charges for harboring a fugitive, according to her legal counsel, attorney Ferdinand Topacio. In an ambush interview at the National Bureau of Investigation on Friday, shortly after their inquest proceedings for Ong and Sheila Go concluded, Topacio mentioned that charges of obstruction of justice and harboring a fugitive are being considered against Ong. However, he emphasized that much remains unclear about the harboring of a fugitive case. Topacio said, "A lot needs to be clarified in this case because a lot of fake news is being spread, especially by Senator Risa Hontiveros," according to him. You know, out of the 10 things Senator Risa said, 11 of them are wrong. He added, first of all, they are saying that Miss Cassandra Lee Ong sneaked out of the country illegally. That's not true. Why would it be illegal? Cassandra Lee Ong has a passport. She does not have a whole departure order from any court, and there is no legal impediment preventing her from leaving the country. The right to travel is a constitutionally protected right. The Pasha further said that the inquest proceedings are just the beginning of the investigation into the issues surrounding Ong and Go. The inquest is an admission by the DOJ that there is no case, because when you're subjected to an inquest, it means they're just starting to file a case against you. This means there is no case and therefore no warrant. He explained in full Filipino. Justice Assistant Secretary and spokesperson Miko Clavaro told the reporters on Thursday that Ong may be charged with obstruction of justice and violation of the Philippine Passport Act. Go, on the other hand, will face charges for violations of the immigration law. This was how Jonathan Geronimo, vice chairperson of the Alliance of Concerned Teachers, or ACT, described the office of the vice president's office request for 10 million pesos to print 200 copies of Vice President Sara Duterte's book, Isang Kaibigan, or in English, a friend. He called it ironic. As Duterte herself pointed out, the book, which she self-authored, stresses on the value of friendship, of not abandoning friends. It seeks to impart this lesson through the story of Quago, whose home was destroyed by a storm, and Loro, or parrots, who came to help Quago and offered shelter. Owls in real life do not build homes but settle on trees, unlike Duterte's fictional character. But while the OVP defended the book, saying that it will encourage reading, Geronimo asked if it's really necessary, especially since most students of public schools do not have a complete set of textbooks, and that some do not even have a single textbook at all. As the ADCOM to revealed, since the K-12 curriculum was introduced in 2013, only 27 book titles have been procured by the TEP, and out of the 90 required for grades 1 to 10, with only grades 5 and 6 having a complete set of textbooks. As the Second Congressional Commission on Education revealed, that was mentioned earlier, Duterte was the head of the DepEd for almost 2 years, since assuming as the vice president. Geronimo also said, Aksaya. He told the Philippine Daily Inquirer that the Philippines is still far from having one-to-one student textbook ratio, said that the government resources like the 10 million requested by the OVP should instead be allotted for learning materials in schools, quote-unquote, not for self-serving interests. For Raymond Basilio, ACT Secretary General, We do not need self-serving materials that aim to promote a certain individual, stressing that we can better address the problem of learning poverty by having quality learning materials such as books in our schools. Last Tuesday, August 20, Duterte's children's book ignited a heated exchange between her and Senator Risa Hontiveros, who asked the vice president to explain what the book is about. But Duterte instead accused Hontiveros of politicizing the hearing on the OVP's proposed 2.37 billion pesos budget for the next year. As pointed out by Hontiveros, one of the OVP's programs for 2025 is the Pagbabago campaign, A Million Learners and Trees, which involves the provision of VADs to 1 million learners in remote communities while imitating activities where they can plant trees. This program, the senator said, is expected to get 100 million in funding, but part of the campaign is allocation of 10 million for the distribution of the Duterte's book, which the OVP said was made in 2023 rather, and has nothing to do with the elections. So much of the 10 million and a plagiarized book. We go ahead for the quick sports headlines. In the top four finals of the Valorant Champions 2024 in Seoul, Leviathan in the Americas goes down to a lower bracket against the winner of Team Heretics and Sentinels, currently playing the map 3 for Abyss. EDG takes the lead as the first finalist for the upcoming grand finals this August 25 in Seoul, Korea. As of 9:28 p.m. Philippine Standard Time, in map 3, Team Heretics is currently on the lead in the last first half, as presumably Sentinels winning the last round currently with 8-4, but we who knows with who else will win. But unfortunately, whoever loses in this lower bracket will be eliminated from the VCT. If any one of them wins in this bracket, they will continue. The said winner will still continue to face Leviathan in the lower bracket before they could even make it to the grand finals. For the showbiz news, as we conclude, after we connected with her mom Pia and brother Elmo, Maxine Magalono then spent quality time with her sisters Saab and Una. Happened to my keyboard right there. Whom she regards as medicine for her soul. Maxine documented their launch date at a cafe in San Juan through her Instagram page last Saturday, August 17. God's timing is always perfect, she said in the caption. The love was never lost. Addressing her sisters, Maxine added, I miss you so much. Your energy is medicine for my soul. Saab is Maxine's younger sister, while Una is the daughter of Pia, from her marriage prior to your union with the late Francis Magalona. Earlier this month, Maxine also had a meal date with her mom and Elmo. Their bonding moment happened after Maxine admitted that she had kept a healthy distance from her family as part of her healing journey. The actress said, you know what's incredibly healing? Reconnecting with family and just having a good time catching up. Laughing uncontrollably about funny memories and telling each other how proud you are of one another, the actress said. She added, forever grateful for these moments and hoping that we have more with the rest of the family. Thanking God for bringing us back together in his perfect time. Aside from Maxine, Saab, and Elmo, Pia and Francis have 3 more children together, namely Frank, Arkin, and Clara. To cap up for tonight's edition from this Bible verse of the day was brought to you by BibleGateway.com and the Philippine Christian Family Broadcasters Manila. Psalm 94 verse 18 to 19. When I said, my foot is slipping, your unfailing love, Lord, supported me. When anxiety was great within me, your consolation brought me joy. Coming up next is Talk with DJ Sen here on Cool FM. We will return tomorrow with the noontime edition of Cool News. Cool News at 12. I'm Stephen Niwana Del Sol. Once again, DJ Sen is next on Cool FM. Mapapakul ka dito. Good night.